how to de-seed a giant watermelon. There are literally probably 1,500 to 2,000 seeds in this watermelon. Please join me. I'm going to show you the quickest way to get them out. Today we're going to talk about what went wrong with Bubbas Grow. What went wrong this year? We're going to talk about that. Why did the first pumpkin split? Join us. First, we're going to cut the end off the watermelon. We're going to cut the end off like a jack-o'-lantern. First thing we're going to do. Go. We'll save the top to put back on later. All right, I moved the camera closer so you can get more of a bird's eye view. Okay, now we're going to gut the flesh out of the watermelon. Now, a lot of people tell you, oh, the seeds, they're not black. Well, these giant watermelons, they either come out brown or white. They're never black. The giant Carolina. This is Carolina Cross watermelon. But we're going to scoop all the flesh into here, and all the flesh will go into this tub. We'll dig it out. It's a very painstaking operation to de-seed a watermelon. If you don't believe me, ask Chris Kent. You can see here's one of the seeds now. I'm not 100% they're totally developed, but we will find out how many days. This watermelon is probably about the same age as my 1,000-pound pumpkin I just grew. Probably 2 months, around 2 months. This is a 341 vial. 341-pound watermelon was the mama down in Carolinas. You can join the Giant Watermelon Growers, the GWD. You can search that on Facebook and internet. Join their club if you're interested in growing giants and competing with the world champs. But here we are. We're going to scoop all this out. This here is insect screen, shade netting insect screen. This is not plastic. I've got this lined in a tub with 4 holes in it. And we will take this out, and what we will do is we will fill the tub with water, and the viable seeds will sink to the bottom, and we will throw the flesh off the top. As you can tell, this isn't real, this wasn't real ripe. I see white seeds. Now here's some duds. These are definitely duds here. Here's a white dud. That's a dud. Throw that right in the ground. It ain't no good. Okay, so we'll keep going. There are some brown ones in here. They look like they may only be half developed. We're going to have to do a germination test and find out if they're viable. I hope they are, because I was going to sell these seeds on my website, worldwidegiantgrowers.com. Or you can always, I may have a special where if you buy 2 packs of seeds, you'll get a free pack of watermelon seeds. But we'll have to do a germination test first. So here we go, scooping the flesh. This would work for any watermelons. Scooping the flesh out. We're only about half of this stuff is out at this point. And I think we'll stop. Here's the next step. The next step is filling the tub with water. The viable seeds will float. I'm sorry, the non-viable seeds will float. The good seeds will sink. And then I can pull this screen out. We'll have to speed this up. I won't make this a horribly long video. And we'll speed this up and show you after I pick all the flesh out and we discard the flesh. We will come back, pull the screen out in the end, and all the good seeds will be in the bottom. That's the plan. Let's see if it works out that way. All right, she's starting to fill with water. The flesh is floating. Now we'll grab a container and throw all the red flesh in the container. Right now we'll start just taking the flesh out busting it up, letting the seeds drop, and throwing the flesh in here. Taking out the big chunks, break them up, make sure there's nothing in there. This will be the process that takes the longest. Picking out there's some brown seeds. Looks like they might be, some of them only half developed, but I see as it's getting in there, they're darker. The seeds are darker as we get more to the bottom. You can see there's some of the flesh, the seeds. They may or not be good. If you're a watermelon grower, an expert, comment, how many days do you champion growers feel the seeds need to be mature? I do believe this was pollinated around the 1st of August, so these are just 2 months old, barely 2 months old. All right, scooping out the chunks. All right, so I just got off the phone with Chris Kent, and I learned quite a bit. First of all, okay, this watermelon is like 7 weeks old, 7 to 8 weeks old. It was about August 1st, it was pollinated. So it's a relatively young watermelon. Well, you can see inside there, okay, the seeds are like half developed. And Chris just said the closer you get to the blossom end, the more they'll be developed, and that's true. I found they were whiter on top and undeveloped. You can see in here, we're picking the flesh over here, taking it out to the side. But so as I scoop out more fruit, what are we finding? Okay, right there, see? They're more brown, the seeds. So we probably will have a handful of seeds in here. Maybe I can get a couple hundred seeds that are developed. All right, but this is the process. You got the screen in the tub. When I'm all done picking out the chunks, we will pick it up and hopefully find the seeds to the bottom. But we have a lot of undeveloped seeds. Hindsight being 2020, I'd have left this in the garden another week. I didn't know. I figured 7 weeks was plenty long enough. All right, when you think you know everything, then you got troubles. Bubba don't know everything. So let's dig this out deeper. So I'm getting a lot more. Oh, look at that. That's convenient. I got me a basket holder. I'm getting a lot more developed seeds down there. So what we're gonna do is let them go right into this smaller strainer. Easier to sort them out. There we go. All right. Something to learn here. There's something to be learned here. Harvesting seeds out of a giant watermelon. Right, we got a lot of floaters. Check out the floaters. All right, we'll find out the good ones should be to the bottom. All right, we'll get all this everything floating junk, so let's just get it out of here. Get all the floaters out. Grind to the old, hey, you're not drinking out of my pop, I might get a floater. All right, here we go. No floaties, baby, no floaties. Here we go, let's get all these floaters out. And what we're gonna do, stay tuned, we're gonna weigh the shell. We're gonna weigh the shell. The watermelon weighed 127 pounds. Let's weigh the shell. So how much was shell? How much was seeds and flesh? That mystery will be solved today. All right, there we go. Right there. All the floaters out. Jack's frog net. There we go. It's a mountain of melon. There's a mountain of melon. Woo-hoo, baby. All right, there may not be no viable seeds in here. We may have none. And I'm sorry to say if that's the case, next year we'll leave her on the vine a couple more weeks. Now Chris Kent told me he thought that they would continue to develop even off the plant. Well, that may be, so I guess I maybe should have let it set for 2 more weeks and not cut it open. What are your thoughts on that? All right, so let's do this. Let's pull this up. We're going to weigh this in a second. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, there you go. Let's see, is there any? Did any go to the bottom? Did any? Nah, nothing went to the bottom. I may still go ahead and try try a few of the brown ones just for laughs and giggles, but yeah, need to leave it on the vine. Lesson learned, leave it on the vine longer, or don't open the fruit so soon. Now let's weigh it. Okay, we're gonna weigh the fruit with my scale. It weighed 127 pounds, solid. We're gonna do the complete shell. All right, here we go. Boy, much lighter, much lighter. All right, let's put her on here. Okay, what do we got? I have 127 pounds. Let's put the top back on. We have 67 pounds. The rind weighs 67 pounds. So that's what? There was 60 pounds of flesh and seeds. Almost half and half. All right, there you go. You have it now. This is gonna go to the front yard and we're gonna make a jack-o'-lantern out of it. Big fruit, let's talk about what we learned from this year. Okay, West Coast made a comment, Bubba, don't try so hard next year. Now I carefully thought that over. Talked about it with Chris Kent, he agrees with me. I wasn't trying too hard this year. I got a late start on amending my soil. First year ever growing on this lot. We were low in sulfur, low in manganese. The time it took to catch those up. Boron was on the edge of being low. By the time we cut all that up and used our well water, which is full of calcium, has a little boron, by the time we got that all leveled out and caught up, it was the end of July. Well, the big pumpkin, the first pumpkin already split, all right? You know, it went light, went sharp maybe, it split, it was thin-walled. Proof of that, the second pumpkin, 1,005er, has gone 8% heavy. Now it was pollinated July 21st. By July 21st, I was level. Looking beautiful. My amendment's getting caught up. I needed more sulfur. I needed time for the sulfur to break down that I had put in the soil. Sulfur takes time, up to 90 days and longer to break down. So now by July 21st, things are leveling out as these younger fruits are developing. The watermelon was estimated 113 pounds, weighed 127. The watermelon went heavy, all right? The pumpkin went 8% heavy, the second pumpkin, because now at this point in time, so next year we will be ahead of the curve. Next year we're gonna start out level, because I can amend this, I can throw down some sulfur this fall, and that'll have time to break down for next year. I can add a little boron, which most of your boron's just gonna leach right through. Best just to add that to your waterings. My calcium's already high in the soil. My calcium's high in my well water. One thing I used more of this year than ever before was amino acids. Ronnie Wallace sells seaweed. You can buy seaweed, powdered seaweed at Ronnie Wallace's site. Wow, organic wonder. Get you a bag of seaweed. I also use raw amino acids. I never used so much amino acids in my life. Well, they took July and August to kick in. Heavy watermelon, heavy pumpkin. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Bubba didn't try too hard. I may try too hard because I do have that obsessive, passionate personality, but that's not why my fruit didn't make it. It was first year. Join us next year. Hopefully we'll get some better weather. No cloud Mageddon. It's very cloudy in Michigan this year. Or all the guys across the board would have had bigger pumpkins. You might say, well, wait a minute. So-and-so had a 2,000 pounder. This guy had a 2,100 pounder. On a sunnier year, their stuff would have been 300 pounds bigger. That's a fact.